Students, today we will learn about the subsets. Okay, now we have some idea about the sets on the basis of that previous video. Now see, today we will start with the subsets. Okay, now let's understand. Let A and B be two sets. If every element of A is an element of B, then A is a subset. A is called a subset of B. And see, this is the symbol of subset. Now see, let A and B be two subsets if every element of A is an element of B. It means, suppose this is A, set A. Suppose set A 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and suppose this is set B 2, 4. Now see, every element of B is included in the elements of among the elements of set A. So we can write it as B is a subset of A. Okay, then suppose this is one set A, B, C, D, E. Okay, and if I write this as B, C, D, you see every element of set D is included among the elements of set C. So we can write it as C is a subset, D is a subset of C. Okay, so this is the subset symbol. So I think you have understood what do you mean by subset. Okay, see, if every element of A is an element of B, then A is called a subset of B. Okay, so these are the examples I have shown you. Okay, so now see, there are some results on subsets. Okay, see, every set is a subset of itself. Every set is a subset of itself. Now see, suppose this is one set. Okay, so A is a subset, but A is a subset of whose set? Means A is a subset of whom? A is a subset of itself only. Okay, now see, this is a set. See, set C is a set. Now see, set C is a subset of whom? Set C is a subset of itself only. Okay, so every set is a subset of itself. Now you see, the second result is empty set is a subset of every set. Okay, so this very important point. Okay, we will be going to apply this in our exercise. So now see, every set, empty set is a subset of every set. Okay, and empty set means phi. Okay, it is denoted by phi. Okay, now why empty set is a subset of every set? Because see, emptiness is always there. No, whatever may be the elements of set, always there is some emptiness in every set. So empty set is a subset of every set. Okay, now see, the third and the last result on subsets, total number of subsets of a finite set containing n elements is 2 to the power n. Okay, see, total number of subsets of a finite set containing n elements is 2 to the power n. Let's see some examples. Suppose A is a set, okay, that containing the elements 1 and 2. Now see, the total number of elements. Now see, the total number of subsets. Okay, the total number of subsets of a finite set containing n elements is 2 to the power n. So you tell me, if A is a set which contains the elements 1 and 2, then what will be the number of subsets? So in this case, the number of subsets will be 2 to the power 2, because see, n containing n elements. So here the number of elements is 2. So the total number of subsets will be 2 squared, that is 4. Now see, if we break it as subset, then see what will happen. See, suppose we are going to write the subsets. Now see, phi will be always there, as I have told you that empty set is a subset of every set. So phi will be always there. Now see, there will be no bracket, because I have already told you that phi is itself a empty set. Okay, so it cannot be represented by any set. Okay, phi itself is a empty set. Now see, the first subset will be phi, the second subset will be 1, the third subset will be 2, and the last subset will be 1, 2. Why? Because see, every set is a subset of itself. Okay, empty set is a subset of every set, and every set is a subset of itself. So empty will be there, means empty set will be there. 1, 2, this is the subset of itself. So this will be also there, and if you break this, then 1 and 2. So now see 1, 2, 3, 4. So now see total number of subsets is 4. So calculation came. Okay, so I think you have understood. Let's say another example. Suppose if A is a set that containing 1, 2 and 3. So now see in this case the total number of subsets will be 2 to the power n. N means number of elements. The number of elements here is 3. So 2 cube, that is 8. So in this set, in case of this set, the total number of subsets will be 8. Now let's see how. See, first of all you have to write 5. This is an empty set. Then you see 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 3, and the last one is 1, 2, 3. So now see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now see the total number of subsets is 8. So by knowing this formula, you need not to write the write the subsets. Okay, without writing the subsets, you can easily write the total number of subsets. Okay, you need not to write the subset like this. Okay, I have shown here so that you can understand properly. Okay, so without knowing the subsets, you can easily calculate the total number of subsets of finite set. Okay, that is 2 to the power n. The formula is this. Okay, and these are the examples. Suppose one question is given to you. See, two finite sets have m and n elements. Total number of subsets of first set is 56, more than the total number of subsets of second set. Find the values of m and n. Now see, from the question it is given that two finite sets have m and n elements. Total number of subsets of first set is 56, more than the total number of subsets of second set, and you have to find the values of m and n. Now see, you have to start like this. Let A and B be two sets having m and n elements. This is a given part actually. Now see, number of elements means the number of subsets of set A will be 2 to the power m, and number of subsets of set B will be 2 to the power n. This is according to the problem. Now see, it is given that total number of subsets of first set is 56, more than the total number of subsets of second set. So according to the problem, the equation will be 2 to the power m equals to 56 plus 2 to the power n. Okay, this according to the problem. So if you want to solve this, then you can easily solve this like this way. See, first you have to take 2 to the power n common. Okay, then it will be more easily solved. Now see, you can write it as 2 to the power cube minus 1. Okay, this you have to write by applying the prime factorization method. So in this way, if you compare, then you will get n equals to 3, and m minus n also equals to 3, and this will be what? M equals to 6 after calculation. Now see, we have get the values of n, and we have also got the values of m. So this is how to solve this type of sum. So this is very easy sum. Okay, now see the next one. Now see the next part, we learn intervals as subsets of R. R means the real number. Now see students, I have already told you that this set chapter is mostly theoretical chapter. So you must know the theory properly. Okay, otherwise you cannot solve any numerical of sets. Okay, so you must know the theory properly, and the theory is so long, I know, but you have to go through the theory portion properly. Okay, so now see now intervals as subsets of R. R means the real number. Intervals as subsets of real number. Now see, there are two types of interval. One is open interval, one is closed interval. Let's see the open interval first. See, open interval means if A and B are two real numbers such that A is less than B, then set of all real numbers x satisfying A less than x less than B, A less than x less than B means x is greater than A but less than B is called an open interval, and is denoted by, see, open interval is denoted by this bracket. Okay, the first bracket. Okay, see, open interval means actually, you see, suppose x is a number, okay, which is greater than a but less than b, okay, which is greater than a but less than b, okay. But you see in case of closed interval, see, let a and b be two given real numbers such that a is less than b, then set of all real numbers x. See, this is the format of this closed interval. Closed interval, in case of closed interval, you see, suppose x is a number which is less than, which is greater than equals to a and less than equals to b. See, greater than equals to a, less than equals to b, less than or equals to b is called a closed interval and is denoted by a comma b third bracket, okay. The closed interval is denoted by third bracket and the open interval is denoted by first bracket. See why it is open interval? Open interval, see, there is no equal sign, okay. See, x is greater than a but less than b, greater than a but less than b, okay. So there is no equality, there is no equal sign. Open, okay, it is open. X is greater than a, less than b, okay. So now see, a can be, see, x can be greater than a and less than b, okay, not equals to. So there is no boundary, okay, there is no boundary. So this is the open interval which is denoted by this first bracket. But now in case of closed interval, you see, x is greater than equals to a, less than equals to b. So there is some this equality, this equal sign, there is some boundary, okay. See, suppose x is a number, x is greater than a or equals to a, okay, and less than b or equals to b, okay. So there is some boundary, okay, equals to, see, equals to sign is there, so there is some boundary, that is why it is called closed interval, which is denoted by this third bracket. Okay, so I think you have understood the differences between the closed interval and the open interval. Open interval means, see, x is number which is greater than a but less than b, okay, fine, it's open, there is no equality, x is greater than a, less than b, there is no boundary actually. But you see closed interval, in case of closed interval, you see, x is a number which is greater than or equals to a and less than or equals to b. So there, if there is some equality, okay, so you cannot cross these two boundaries, okay. So there are some boundary, that's why it is called as closed interval, okay. Now see the next, you see, semi open or semi closed, okay, means on one side there is open or the other side there is closed, on one side there is closed and the other side is open. See, suppose x is a number which is greater than a but less than equals to b, or x is a number which is greater than equals to a or less than, okay. So this is semi open and semi closed, this is very easily seen. So first of all, you have to you have to understood the meaning of this closed interval and open interval. So I think you have understood the differences between the closed interval and the open interval, okay. See the format, first you have to understand the format properly, okay. There is some boundary, see, equals to sign is there, so a and b, this cannot be crossed, okay. There is some boundary a and b, but see, there is no boundary, that's why it is called as open interval and is represented by what, this first bracket, x is greater than a but less than b. So I think you have understood what do you mean by interval and what do you mean by the closed interval and open interval, their differences, okay. Now see the next part. The next part is given universal set, a set that contains all sets in a given context. This is very easy topic. See, universal set, a set that contains all the sets in a given context. For example, you see, when we are using sets containing natural number, then n is universal set, okay. Now see, when we are using sets containing the real numbers, then r will be the universal set, okay. This is very easy, normal. Suppose suppose a set A containing 1, 2, 3 and this set B and set C, this is, then U will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the whole set, this A, B, C, okay. U will be the set which contain these three, A, B, C. So this is a universal set. This is very easy. Universal set means the set which universally all know actually, okay. The natural number set, the real number set, the whole number set, okay. Now see the topic is now power set. Now see, let A be a set, then the collection of all the subsets of set A. See, the collection of all the subsets of set A is called the power set and is denoted by P. Okay, means actually this is the collection of all the subset of any set is called the power set. Okay, power set contains all the elements. Power set contains all the subset within a set. Okay, this is called the power set. Power set is such a set which contain all the subsets of a set. Power set is such a set which contains all the subsets of a set. Okay, let's see the example. Let A is given 1 comma 2 and see the subset will be what? 5 1 2 1 2. I have already told you this example before also. So power set will be what? See, power set will be, actually see, the power set will be this. See, subsets, and within this you have to put the second bracket, and within the second bracket you have to write the subset. Means the power set is a set, so you have to put this second bracket, and is a set which contain all the subsets. So see, I have written here subset. Okay, this is the best way to learn the definition of this power set. See, power set is a set. Okay, so you have to put obviously here the second bracket and set which contain all the subset. Okay, so yeah, I have written here subset. So now see, suppose example, see, the subsets are this. So in this case the power set will be 5 1 2 1 comma 2, and have to put this in this second bracket because it represents set. So this is the power set. Power set means the collection of all the subsets of any set. It's called the power set. Okay, now see, if A is the empty set, a void set phi, then PA has just one element phi, that is P phi will be what? The phi. This is a subset, this is the subset, and see, the collection of subset within a set is called the power set. So this is a subset, and if I put this second bracket, so this will become the power set. Okay, so this is the definition of power set. I think the concept of power set has been clear to you. Let's do some exercise, then it will be more clear to you. Now see, here it is given, let A equals to, see, this is on set is given to you, and you have to solve all this. Now see, A is given this, A, B, C, D, within the second bracket again E. So what will be the elements here? First you have to identify, first of all you have to identify the elements. Okay, the elements will be here A, B, C, D, E. Now see, A, B, E are the elements we know. Now you can ask that why C, D putting within second bracket will be an element. See, this is the element. Okay, B is an element, A is an element, E is an element, this is also an element. This cannot be any subset. Okay, this is the element of this set A. Okay, A, B, C, comma D and E, this is the element. So that's why I have written whatever may be given to you. Okay, whatever element may be given to in whatever way, putting within second bracket, third bracket, whatever may be the element in written in whatever way. But see, whenever it is given this, so A, B, this whole C, D and this E, these are will be the elements. Okay, these are will be the elements, and elements means elements always belongs to set A. Okay, elements always belongs to set A. So first we have to identify the elements. Let's start to solve this, then it will be more clear to you. See, here it is written C comma D putting within second bracket is a subset of A. No, see, this is the element. Okay, this is the element of set A. So elements always belongs to set. So see, here it is given subset. So this will be a false statement. Now see, here is given C comma D is belongs to A. Yes, this is right because this is the element, and elements always belongs to set. Okay, now see, it is given C comma D within second bracket, means this is the, see, this is the element, and when you write the element within the another second bracket, so that will be the subset of A. So this statement is right. Why? Because this is the element we all know. see, this is the element I have encircled here, this is the element, and when the element is written within the second bracket with, okay, so that will be a subset of the set. So this statement is correct. Now see, A is belongs to A. Yes, A is belongs to A because A is an element. See, A is a subset of A. No, this cannot be a subset because see, the set, the sign of set means what? This second bracket, the second bracket is not given here. So this statement is false. Okay. Now see, A, B, E is a subset of A. See, A, B, E is a subset of A. Yes, it is a subset. Why? Because see, A, B, E, these are the elements, and these elements are written within a second bracket in the format of set. So this is the subset of set A. Now see, phi belongs to A. Is it correct? Now see, we all know that elements belongs to a set. No, elements belongs to a set. Now see, here phi is not the elements. Yes, we can say that phi is the subset of every set. It is true that phi is the subset of every set, but phi is not the element of every set. Okay, only it can be the element if it is given in the elements. Now see, in the elements phi is not given, so phi cannot be the element, so there is no concept of belonging. So phi cannot doesn't belong to set A, so this also wrong. Now see, phi putting within second bracket is a subset of A. No, phi itself is a subset of every set, so we can write it as phi is subset of A. So see, but here they have written phi within second bracket, so this is also wrong statement. Now see here, A, B, now see, A, B, C written within second bracket is it belongs to A. No, this cannot be belongs to A, so this is also a false statement. And see, A, B, E putting within second bracket is the element of A. No, this cannot be element of A. This can be subset of A, but this cannot be element. This cannot be element of A. So this cannot belongs to set A. So now see, you have to solve like this. Okay, first you have to identify the elements here. Okay, then start to solve. First identify the elements, then start to solve. Then it will be more clear to you, more helpful for you to solve all these type of sums. Okay, so in the next day we will start with the Venn diagrams of this chapter. Okay, so today up to this.